Hi, everybody. As behavior consultants, we often share a similar set of challenges. So we often express frustration about being called too late or working with a dog that is showing little to no progress. There's also a big issue with regression. So dogs, if they do make progress, which they often do, then that progress can sometimes slip, especially if the clients aren't continuing to work with the animal on a regular basis. And there's also this, really palpable sense of frustration with the lack of evidence-based recommendations. And I think all of these things combined are leading to a lot of burnout and suffering within the professional animal training and behavior community. So in case you don't already know, I am Dr. Christina Spalding with Science Matters Academy of Animal Behavior. And my 16-week-long certificate course called Unlocking Resiliency was really designed to address these challenges. I kept thinking to myself, what if we can do a better job? What if we can work with dogs earlier in the process? What if we can give them the skills that they need to cope with these stressors so that they are able to be resilient in the face of the stress? And for those dogs that already have issues by the time we see them, what if there was a better, more effective way to address those behavior issues? And so that's how the Unlocking Resiliency course was born. And this course, I think, takes a little bit of a different approach than a lot of courses. So we look at stress. We spend a fair amount of time talking about the impacts of stress on behavior and what stress is. And that brings us into talking about the role of emotion and cognition on behavior. So I'm really taking a deep dive into the research on these topics so that my students have a much deeper and fuller understanding of the different processes and interactions that are involved in producing a lot of this unwanted behavior in the first place. And once we have that foundation, we spend some time talking about mental health. So pulling some information from psychology as well as animal studies about mental health and what can go wrong in that realm and how that impacts behavior. And then we wrap up by discussing resilience and how we can build more resilience in our dogs or whatever animal it is that we work with. So I think, if you're wondering if you should take this course or not, some of the things I would want you to know about the course is that ultimately, in the end, we're really focusing on the happy side of things. So we do have to get through information about stress and the impacts of stress because it's really key to understand how stress impacts behavior. But the end goal of this course is to really help us foster and nurture happier, more resilient animals. And as a result of having animals that are happier and more resilient, you should see improved success in your behavior cases, as well as be able to set the stage for success from the beginning with younger dogs. There's also lots of information in here that would be very applicable to working with shelter dogs. And regardless of what population you work with, the goal is that students will come out of this course with a really strong framework in evidence-based practice. Full students will also have assignments and activities that they work on that will directly apply to working and living with dogs. And I keep saying dogs because that is my species that I work with. But if you work with other species, a lot of the information in this course will still be really relevant to you, especially if you work with mammals, because all this information seems to apply across mammals. So I'm not going to give you a lot of information on the logistics because you can find that on the website. And depending on when you're watching this, the details in terms of dates and so on may have changed. So there will be a link to the website in the description of this video. But the format of the course is that We meet once a week for 16 weeks. Now, again, depending on when you're taking the course, there's probably going to be a couple weeks off for holidays. But there is a lecture that is given live. If you can't make the live lecture time, it is also recorded, so you'll have the opportunity to watch it. And then for full students, there is also a discussion section that meets once a week for an hour. And that is where I like to say that the magic happens. This is where we sit down and we have really in-depth conversations about how do we apply this material to working with animals. And you guys will be given activities in those discussion sections to help you apply this material, as well as homework assignments that I hope will be very applicable to the work that you are doing and actually directly help you with the work that you are doing with animals. And this is, to help you process that material, figure out how to apply it in a way that makes the most sense for you, and then get a little feedback on that work that you're doing as well. And then full students will also get a certificate upon completion of the program, and that will include a logo that you can use on your website as well as your marketing materials. So I would love to see you guys there. I'm very, very excited about this course. If you'd like more information or would like to register, you can go to www.sciencemattersllc.com and then go to the drop-down menu for professional courses and choose Unlocking Resiliency. And there will also be a link in the description under this video. Thank you so much.